All right, and we're back for another episode of the Department Podcast with Justin Valentovic, Stephen Clark, Jesse Norman, and Stephen Bologna. And we're here for something we're doing for the first time, basically, since we started this whole thing. And that's we're going through, the NFL schedule this week, and we're picking games with spreads and the over-under. And really, the reason why we haven't gotten into it until really week 8 of the season is that there were just so many damn sports going on between the NFL, baseball, you had basketball, we had hockey, wrestling, that just never went away. So quite frankly, we just didn't have time to do it. And we're also kind of dabbling a little bit in, sports betting because, we basically all do it here and there, win some, you lose some, but that's what we're doing here. So we're just going to go through, pick some games we like, some we don't like, and see how far we get through the whole schedule. If we do, we do. If we don't, well, then we don't. But that's simple as that. But guys, what's going on?
Same old, just hanging out, man. Sports.
Clark, what happened to the old face a little bit over here for the video?
I got a Halloween party tonight because this is going up on Halloween. So happy. Has it gone up on Halloween or it's going up today?
I was gonna throw it up today if we got it done.
Happy day before Halloween. Happy Halloween.
Whenever it goes up.
But I have a Halloween party and I need to have the mustache in order to complete my costume.
Are you dressing up, Justin?
I did that that last
Justin
week.
went to a party.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I know.
I was coerced into it, but
that's Murphy on the horn.
Coerced into
Mark,
it.
make sure you wear a mask.
I will. I'll send a picture to Justin too.
The mask would literally cover up a third of your costume, basically.
Yeah.
Based on what you're going on.
Yeah.
But with that being said, Jesse, how are you? Chilling?
I'm good. I'm chilling.
Jesse, how are you?
Nice. Steve, you good too?
Same thing, different day.
Exactly.
I like that Ric Flair autograph in the background, Stevie.
Thanks. I when I went up to him, I told him I love this song with Migos. I don't think he knew what I meant, but his wife just took over everything. She took my money. She wrote with his hand.
She wrote with his hands.
Oh boy. But with that being said, let's pick some games and we'll do similar style what we do with the recap where we just kind of go in a clockwise, counterclockwise, whatever the hell it is, whatever Zoom set up, that type of motion. We'll pick some games. And with that being said, since we're starting with me, I'm gonna pick a game I really like, and that is the Pittsburgh Steelers at Baltimore.
Oh baby!
And the Ravens have to win by at least 5 because the spread's -4, and the over/under is 46.5. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of points, but also can the Ravens put up points to bend the Steelers defense? Because that's really what will affect the over/under on this is the Steelers defense. And for me, I'm going to take the under on that.
Okay.
What about you guys?
Yeah, it's just the two very good defenses too, like you said. Pittsburgh has the good young defense we've been talking about. Baltimore has a great defense with a bunch of new additions there too. I'm definitely going the under in that one. I think that's easy money. Easy money in your pocket right there.
Yeah, I'm wary of the Steelers-Ravens just because it's a rivalry game. So I'm not sure about taking the under because I think it'll, hit right around there. I think this could be a 24-21 game or a 28-24. So if I had to, I would probably take the under. But for me, as a Steelers fan, I am not touching this bet because I think Mike Tomlin is going to completely show none of his hand to Baltimore.
Oh, wow.
I think Baltimore is going to beat Pittsburgh, not even that hard. And then in the playoffs, when Baltimore feels like they have a full upper edge on Pittsburgh's going to come out with all their plays that they didn't run in the regular season. It's an old Bill Belichick trick, and I think Mike Tomlin's going to use it.
Interesting. I like that idea. I'm gonna go with you. Same thing as you, Justin and Clark. I'm gonna hammer the under on this one. We're talking about 2 top 5 defenses in the league. Even if the stats don't show it. Lamar hasn't also been playing great as of late.
It's definitely he's not MVP Lamar, but also asking him to replicate that 2 seasons in a row is a tall task. But also, I wouldn't even say he's 75% of the way there. He's taken a step back. Just passing and looking downfield. I'm not saying the NFL has figured him out, but they're definitely throwing things at him to slow him down.
Yeah.
The thing is going to be the Steelers defense starts at stopping the run. And they're going to go up against what most think is the best rushing attack in the league. So really, who wins out there? Because if the Steelers force Lamar to throw, I'm definitely favoring the Steelers. But I don't know how much they're going to be able to stop that run game. Because in recent years, when it's best defense meets best offense, majority of the time, especially on the run game, the offense seems to win.
Yeah. And what was the point spread with this one?
46.
No, the spread was -4. So
-4.
Oh, the
minus
spread
4.
-4. Yeah.
So the Ravens have to win by 5.
Ravens got to win by. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I like that. I don't know.
I feel like it's going to be a close game, though. I feel like it would be decided by a field goal.
Yeah.
So with that being said, Clark, you're up. What
Okay.
game do you want to talk about?
I was looking at the Rams and the Dolphins. All right, because we're seeing the debut of Tua. We really don't know what's going to go on in that game. And 46, first of all, for the over/under is really, really high for that. Rams, have a solid enough defense, not the best defense, and Miami has been stepping up lately. So definitely taking the under in that one. The point spread's very, very tricky though with this one, because I feel like these two teams are very similar in a lot of ways, but man, I don't know.
The Rams are getting 3.5 points, which
Yeah,
they're facing a rookie quarterback with Aaron Donald breathing down his neck. 3.5 really isn't that much.
yeah.
But we've seen it where the Rams can put up a lot of points or they're just non-existent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and my thing is they're traveling to the East Coast. And that's
right.
always a little bit different. And not even just, East Coast, they're going to Miami where it's humid and hot. Pretty much the thing that LA is not is humid, and Miami has over 85% humidity every single day, and it's going to be in a different time zone. So I'm not sure how much I like the Rams, but I think like them at 3.5.
I
think they could easily rip off by 6.
I don't know. I just think Tua might actually carry Dolphins to a win here. I really do. You see what they've done with old Fitzmagic back there, and then I don't know. I think the Dolphins pull it off. Plus more than 3.5. I think at least a touchdown they win by.
Steve, what do you think?
That's an interesting one. I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna take the over on this one. I think the Rams can easily put up 30 points on their own. They put up 32 against the Bills defense earlier in the year. They put up 37 against the Eagles earlier in the year, and I'm sure the Dolphins can muster up at least 14 to 21 points. This is going to be an interesting game for Tua. Luckily, he had this bye week this upcoming week. Last week, just to kind of get the playbook going a little bit.
Yep.
So that should be in his favor. But I think just the Rams offense as a whole should be firing on all cylinders. And this Miami Dolphins defense, a little overhyped. It was very high expectations going into the year, but just hasn't really lived up to the hype.
Yeah, cool.
So with that being said, Jesse, you're up now.
We're flying, baby.
We're moving through these.
Oh, baby.
So one that I like, I don't know how much I love the over/under, but the spread of the Colts at the Lions. Colts only need to win by 2.5. So a field goal over the Lions gives them, the spread. I like it. I like it a lot. I think the Lions are a super inconsistent team. They won last week off of a miracle. And usually when teams win off of miracles, the next week they're feeling themselves a little too much and they can't prepare properly. The Colts are going to come in prepared. Their coaching staff is one of the better in the league. The defense is going to play at least somewhat decent enough. And Phillip Rivers is probably going to make a couple passes. I like the Colts. I like the Colts a lot to win this game. And if they win this game, it's most likely going to have to be by 3 points or more. So the 2.5 spread, I love.
Especially when you have the highest scoring guy on the league kicking the balls for you, it makes this bet a little more like enticing to me just because
Hot Rod's been money, basically.
Money.
Hot Rod.
Oh, yeah. Also, Colts off a bye.
Exactly. Yeah, you brought up that point.
That's huge too.
Yeah,
and Darius Leonard's coming back.
Leonard's back. A lot of people are back. And you brought up the point, though, which I'm going to argue a little bit with you, of the miracle win. The Colts kind of had a miracle win in their last game, too. So they're kind of both coming off of that miracle win-ish type thing, but not as much as the Lions.
Not as much as the Lions
0 on the clock. Yeah.
Something I want to hit on for this game, the over-under is 50. We've seen it. where
I don't like
Col-
the over. I don't like it.
But see, now the Colts pass defense has been picked. They've been picked apart by Burrow, Mayfield in previous weeks, but also Matt Stafford. We've known for a while that he can throw the ball. So 50 is a lot of points.
The Lions can go shot for shot with anyone.
Yeah,
and they've. I mean, their last 10 out of 11 losses have come within 7 points or something like that. I think I'm going to take the Colts here by a field goal win. I think they do cover, but I think it hammers the over/under. Or excuse me, the over.
Yeah. I really think we see a shootout here again because the Colts defense, it can stop the run, but it can't play the pass. Now that could have been a factor
doesn't care about running.
But that's the thing. Detroit doesn't run. All they do is pass. But now the pass could be a little bit better since Leonard is coming back. But I'm still taking the over on this one.
Me too.
Need a big game from Uncle Phil.
It could be his last one for a while, considering that schedule coming up is the Titans, the Ravens, the Titans, the Steelers, and the Chiefs somewhere sprinkled in there too, I think. So it's not going to be fun.
That's another thing. The Colts need to win this game, especially with the schedule that's coming up. If they want to keep their hopes alive in the South,
this is a must win.
This is a must win.
Must, I agree.
So with that, Bologna, your first pick. Where are you going?
Justin, the first round of the MLB playoffs. What's that called?
Wild card.
We have a very big spread game this week. The Jets hosting the Chiefs. The Chiefs will not cover. It's minus 19.5 right now. And the over-under is 49. I want to say I really, really, really want to go balls to the wall here. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying it's under and the Jets cover. I think the Jets only lose by 14.
Now it could be that close because they could pull off the dogs, and we've seen the Chiefs basically this whole season sleepwalk through every single game they haven't had to do. But the over-under is 49, and they could easily put up 49 themselves in the first half if they really tried.
Yeah. If they were on playoff mode, going at it, definitely. But even though Chris Jones said, the Jets is a good football team and Sam Darnold is good and all that garbage that he was just making to be a good guy, I don't know. I feel like they're going to be on, they're going to be chilling again, just like Pat Mahomes was the last couple of weeks and just.
Oh, they're going to win, no problem at all. But I think they might cover.
I do think we got to remember, Darnold didn't play for the Jets before the Bills game, and the 2 weeks before with Flacco being in. And don't get me wrong, the Jets are bad, but they're so much worse with Flacco. With Darnold, it looks like they have a semblance of somewhat of an offense. So I think the Jets at least score a couple touchdowns here. I would expect them to cover the spread because I think Kansas City just gets out to an early lead and kind of just, I would say rides Le'Veon Bell most of the game. Just keep handing off and let him have his revenge game against the Jets.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I as bad as the Jets are, they are so much better with Darnold. They at least had a competitive game with the Bills last week. They are a different team with Darnold, and I think it shows a lot as people who think that the Jets need to get Trevor Lawrence. I mean, I think it shows that they're not necessarily watching them.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm Darnold too, he also has to play, obviously expectations are they get Lawrence. So that means he's got to play for some trade value too. He doesn't want to be sleepwalking through games and putting up bad stats because then no teams are going to want him or offer less for him. So this is a game where he can come out and say, kind of like an FU to all the haters and
basically he's playing for his future at that point. But I think 19.5 is a lot of points though still. Will there be a blowout? Probably, but I think the Jets cover at least, within that realm.
The Chiefs' defense isn't too good. It's good, but it's not.
They can go on autopilot and still win and not really have to do much. And that's when we saw kind of what the Rams did against the Cowboys or whatever, early on in the season where they just really didn't have to do anything. So that's why I kind of feel with that game. So moving along, looking at the schedule, it seems to be kind of rivalry week a little bit in certain games. And I'm going to go with one of the better rivalries that we've had for probably 5-6 years at this point. And that's San Francisco at Seattle. Seattle's getting it's -3 for the spread. So they got to win by at least 4. The over under is 53.5. I'm taking the over.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
because quite frankly, the defense of Seattle, not Seattle. Well, Seattle's
Yeah,
defense
you're right.
sucks.
You're right.
And
Seattle.
San Francisco's defense, quite honestly, isn't that good either.
Very depleted.
And Russell Wilson's just going to bomb the ball deep to DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett the whole time. You know, with Chris Carson being out, they're going to ride Hyde a little bit, but he's also questionable.
Hyde's also hurt, yeah.
So they very well could be just bombing it deep this game, and we could see a lot of points put up.
Did you guys hear anything right now?
No, what?
No, I don't hear the 49ers shill Joe in here right now.
Oh, yeah.
So this is nice for a little bit. But I like the over too. I'm 100% with you on the over just because of how depleted the 49ers are on defense. And the Seahawks don't have that good of a defense at all. We saw that on Monday night or Sunday night against Arizona. And the spread's tricky with this one too. I feel like it's going to be close. So see how that one goes. I don't know. Maybe I guess I think Seattle covers then, honestly.
Jamal Adams is another game time decision, so he's probably not going to play. DJ Dallas is the only running back that's cleared to play for Seattle, and they just signed him pretty much off the practice squad. So there's going to be a lot of throwing in this game, so I would take the over.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure who's going to pull it out. I think the Seahawks do need to bounce back, but I don't know if they fully cover the spread. I honestly probably just wouldn't bet this game because it's such a close rivalry game
I agree.
that I would stay away from this one.
Yeah, rivalry games
Besides
are typically tricky.
the over. Yeah.
There has only been one game this year that the Seahawks have not put up over 30 points,
Mhm.
and they scored 27 in that game.
Yeah.
So for me, the over,
It's
no
easy.
question. No
Yeah.
question. But at the same time, the San Fran defense does like to play rivalry games tough. Their defense
Mhm.
can show up at times. I know it's kind of depleted, but I'm still going to take the over. The running game, it's probably going to be Russ as the leading rusher at the end of the night, if we're being honest. And the spread, I do think Seattle wins by more than a field goal, probably by like 7 or something like that. But it's going to be a great game.
Oh, absolutely. And with that, Clark, what great game do you want to pick next?
We talked about old man Rivers a little bit, but here I'm going to talk about old man Breeze and how he's not going to
Oh,
cover
baby.
the spread of +4 and a 5, plus 4.5 in Chicago. I don't like the Saints. I really don't. I
don't like
think
the
they're
Bears
good.
either.
I don't like the
Oh,
Bears,
frogs.
though. I don't like the Bears
I
more
trust
than I
the
don't
Bears
like the Saints.
more at home. If you want to make a little extra money, I would go with this one. I don't trust the Saints offense. I know Michael Thomas might be coming back.
I don't trust either offense at this point.
I in Chicago, I trust the Bears more than I trust Alvin Kamara. I don't even want to call him the Saints. I'm calling him Alvin Kamara because that's the name of the team right now.
Oh, so good.
And the Bears have a good upfront defense too, so they can even stop the run and they'll be forced to throw. And Breeze can't throw 5 yards downfield.
And
So,
I think we can all agree that the under is much more appealing than the over.
oh yeah, I didn't even talk about that. Yeah,
Mhm.
under.
3.5.
I'm going with under.
Like
yeah.
the Bears can't move the ball at all.
Yeah.
Literally,
so
they
bad.
can't.
Yeah, I agree with the under, but I don't think the Saints cover that +4.5.
And
I think the Saints cover.
Really?
I actually bet on this game when it was at -4 for the Saints. I think in a cold weather game, I trust Kamara so much more than I trust Montgomery or Nick Foles or anybody that the Bears have. And the Bears defense really hasn't been that impressive this year.
Yeah, but-
They've stepped up in, some things. But the one thing that I am wary of is that it's in Chicago.
Yes.
That is one thing that does scare me, is that it is in Chicago.
And-
If this was in New Orleans, I don't think there'd be a discussion.
Granted, the Saints also have won a lot of games this season. They're winning them by the skin of their teeth. They are not the
They're
dominant.
shootouts, and they're
Yes.
close.
Yes, they're not the dominant team that we've known for the last 10 years or so. It's not the same. Breeze ain't the same. So I don't know. I don't really think they cover. I really don't. Just because of they played Carolina, they won by 3. They beat the Chargers, they won by 3. They barely beat the Lions. The Packers beat them. It's just it's risky, but I'd rather take the Bears.
Yeah,
I
I'd take the
really would.
Bears with the points at that point, just because the Saints, they don't blow teams out anymore. The offense isn't as explosive as it once was.
What was
Yeah. They do
what was
like
the
to
over-
sit on leads.
It was +4.5 for the Saints.
Oh, no, the over-under.
43 and a half.
43 and a half. You're not telling me that this team that this final score can't be 23-20.
No, just because the Bears' offense is so bad.
But at the same time, the Saints' defense is garbage.
Yeah. But also the only touchdown the Bears had last week was a defensive touchdown. And then you go to the game against the Colts, because that's the last time I watched a full Bears game, was their touchdown only came in garbage time at that point, and they only put up 17. They just can't score.
But that was a good defense with the Colts. Great.
No, but at the time, but yeah.
It's the Saints defense who's not.
The Saints have put up over 30 in every single game except last week. And I know, and like you said, Clark, they're close. Yeah. So that means this game could potentially be close. And if the Saints are putting up 30, the Bears can easily put up 2 touchdowns again. So I'm going to take the over, and I think the Saints get it done. Kamara 2 touchdowns, maybe even 3. I'll take them over 4.5 too.
Nice. Yeah. And with that, Jesse, we're back to you. So what do you want to talk about? So
this spread may seem a little far, but I really like it. And it's Titans at Bengals, Titans -6. Over under 52.5. I don't care about the over under. Give me the Titans -6. I think the Titans are going to blow them out. The Bengals have absolutely no run defense, and the Titans have one of the top 2 run offenses in the league. Yeah. They can get out to an early lead, probably 14-0, 21-0, just gashing them with Henry. I mean, it's a full touchdown, but I don't think there's any way that Tennessee doesn't cover this unless Burrow comes out, throws for 300+ yards and 3 touchdowns. But even that's the only way I see them being competitive.
I like the spread. I don't like the over-under.
Yeah, the over-under was what, 52.5, give or take?
Yeah, I just don't see Burrow slinging them like he did the last couple of weeks against a great Tennessee defense. I really don't. I love Burrow and all that, but I just don't see that happening.
And the Titans have only given up, they've given up 30-point games multiple times, but you see the Vikings,
the
Steelers, the Texans, those are good offenses. The Bengals, they just don't have an offensive line, so I really just don't see them moving at all. It's gonna be another rough day for Joe Burrow, though, I think.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Titans all day on this one. Other than the Pittsburgh game, and that was literally that game should have went to overtime. The Titans look like a top 5, top 7 team in the league. Joe Burrow looks great. Obviously, we all know that. I just think Titans, Ryan Tannehill, blow the doors off them. They cover, and the over under, that's an interesting one. I can see the Titans going off for 30+ points. But I'm going to take the under just to be safe.
Me too.
Nice. And Steve, we're going to keep it with you. So what game? Awesome. What do you want to talk about?
I love it.
So this game has a chance to be the game of the week, in my opinion. We have the great John Gruden-led Raiders flying to Cleveland, -2.5 for Cleveland. Over under is 50.5. For this game, this is an interesting one. I'm going to take the under for this, just because Odell Beckham Jr. is out for the year. Mm-hmm. Your wide receiver 2 now is Rashard Higgins, and your wide receiver 3 is Donovan Peoples-Jones. Not the offense that you're looking for there. And Baker Mayfield has been like this all season long. The Raiders, they have exceeded expectations at least. I think they can get this game done as an upset. Obviously, maybe not an upset because the Browns are only -2.5. But I'll take the Raiders by a touchdown and the under.
I like the Raiders to not to win here just because they got demolished last week, and I think they're going to come out really, really hot against Cleveland. So I don't like the Cleveland -2.5. I really don't. Just because I know Cleveland's home, and I always like Cleveland at home because their fans are wild and crazy, and they do have some people there. But I just think the Raiders are coming out hot. They got embarrassed in their home stadium last week, so I think they're coming. And the Browns don't play good against good teams.
Yeah, so. No, I just really like the Raiders offense. It depends on which Derek Carr shows up and if they decide to give the ball to Jonathan Jacobs or not. But or Josh Jacobs, if they do, they can control the clock. And the Raiders love to just run the ball and score and just control clock. And if they do that, I don't see the over. But I also just see there's a bug. That's why I just swatted at. But I also like the Vegas Raiders winning.
I completely disagree. I love the over here. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. I think both teams don't have that much defense. Baker had a good game last week, so we'll see if he can actually keep it up. But I think even if the Raiders get out to a big lead to start, the Browns are going to make enough of a comeback, I think, to cover the over. The Raiders are a good offense. I think looking at the Browns defense, I think the Raiders can easily put up 30-35 by themselves. So if I'm having the Raiders at 35 and I only need the Browns to hit about 17, yeah, I'll take that over, just because I think the Raiders offense, and because of how bad Derek Carr was against Tampa, I think they're gonna come out and they're gonna throw it a lot.
All right. Well, we're
Interesting.
what are you gonna say, Clark?
I said cool.
Oh, nice. All right. Well, we're back to me. We only got 5 games left, so we were flying through these.
Oh,
Love it.
And a game I
Love
want
it.
to go with for the first time, I think, in my entire adult life, or at least my well-being of being on this earth in my 22 years, the Buffalo Bills are actually the favorite over the Patriots. Now, the spread's -4, so they got to win by 5.
Yeah.
The over-under is 41. I'm taking the under all day on this game, on the sheer fact that the Patriots offense is just terrible. They don't have even Julian Edelman at this point, so I don't even know how they're going to score. But on the flip side, I still expect Belichick to at least scheme Josh Allen enough to keep the offense in check. I still think the Bills win, and I think they cover. But I don't think we see them put combined 41 points. I think, it's going to be like a 20-10 game, if that.
Yeah, when you look at what the Bills did against the Jets, 6 field goals, couldn't get into the end zone whatsoever, and that was the Jets defense. We know Belichick still is going to draw something up on defense to give Josh Allen some fits. And it's sad at this point to watch the Patriots offense, because this offense looked like it had so much promise, but it really just all falls onto the shoulders of Cam Newton, and that's not fair. He has no receivers. He doesn't have a tight end. He doesn't even really have running backs at this point. His line is not playing great. They're a mess. But that being said, the Bills aren't a good team either. They are very fraudulent. They are not a real good football team. They have beaten a lot of not good teams, and they don't beat them by that much. Josh Allen was the talk of the league for the first 4 weeks, and not anymore. But I do like the Bills, I think, to cover this spread. I think they probably win by a touchdown around, but I do like the under. I think this could easily be a 20-13, 20-10 game.
Yeah, and so with that, Clark, you're up, right?
Yeah. This one's a little risky, a little not. This spread's really, really big in this one, but Buccaneers are coming.
Go.
MetLife Stadium, baby. Plus 10.5 they have to win by. Jesus Christ, that's a lot. But the Giants are really depleted, and I'm taking the Buccaneers to cover that plus 10.5 right there. My God. You saw what they did last week. I brought it up in a couple picks ago against the Raiders. They just dogged them in their home stadium, and then the Giants are not good, and their offense gives up the ball a lot and fumbles a lot. So
Daniel Jones fumbles.
Jones fumbles a lot. So yeah, go ahead.
The over-under is 47. I'm taking the under just because you're taking which one are you taking, Clark?
I don't know, because I just feel like the Patriots, Jesus Christ, the Buccaneers are same thing. They're going to go up by a lot, and I feel like the Giants might get a couple of garbage time touchdowns. But to be the safe one is the under in this situation. But I'll go under, and I'll go with the Bucks to get the plus 10 to win by 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jesse, you're up. Let's just fly through these last few games because we got just under 10 minutes left.
Okay. You want me to pick one?
Yeah. Any of the last three.
Give me Chargers at Broncos. Broncos are favored by 3, correct?
No, Chargers are. Chargers
are favored by 3. Yeah. I do like the Chargers to win this. I think they cover the spread. If they don't, honestly, I think the money line might be the best bet here because it's not that much lower than the spread. Yeah. I do think the Chargers win this, though. I think Herbert has a really good game, continues on his rookie of the year kind of trajectory that he's going on right now.
And Drew Lock continues to kill the Broncos.
He's so
and
bad.
Drew Lock continues to kill the Broncos.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing that worries me is that it's in Denver, but also the Chargers are used to going to Denver. Also, they play in LA. It's not really that big
Broncos
of a deal.
just got destroyed in Denver in their home stadium last week too. So
yeah.
Yep. Bologna, your final pick of the podcast.
Oof, all right.
Oh,
Justin, I know you're a fan of cheese, so we're going to go with the cheese heads here. 51 is the over-under against the Vikings. Packers are getting -6. I am riding the Packers heavy on this one. Packers in 2 games this year have put up over 40 points. The rest of the games have been over 30 points, except for the one, obviously the stinker against the Buccaneers. No problem. They're putting up at least 35-40 against the Vikings. And the thing with this rivalry is it's always high scoring. It's always electric. Always a lot of fireworks going around. Kirk Cousins, we know he's terrible, but I still think Dalvin Cook could at least muster up over 100 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. Thielen can catch a touchdown here and there. Justin Jefferson's been going off. For those reasons, I do take the Packers by more than a field goal, honestly, probably about 10-14, but the over just gets broken by a lot.
I agree.
Yeah, this could very easily be a shootout just because the Vikings defense is just atrocious at this
They
point.
play him tough every time, too.
Oh, absolutely. And the final game for us to go over, ironically, it makes sense why we're talking about it last, and that's the Ben DiNucci Dallas Cowboys at the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles are giving the Cowboys 9.5 points, so they got to win by 10. And the over-under is 43.5. First things first, I don't think the over is hit at all, just because the Cowboys just won't be able to score. Even with Dalton or DiNucci or whoever's under center, they're not scoring. It's simple as that. The Eagles, they're also a mess. I don't like this game in general.
Yeah, I would just stay away from this game.
I'd stay away from this
Honestly,
game, too.
I would just stay away from it.
It could either go like it could either be like a 1-point win for like the Eagles or like a 40-point win for the Eagles. Like it's
a bad game.
It's a bad game. I'd stay away from this. But if we had a pick, I would say that they don't cover the Eagles. I don't think they cover that. That's a lot. That's a lot of points to cover.
I just think the Eagles are just a bad team. 9.5 is a lot. So I could
Yeah.
see them maybe if they win within a touchdown, if that, nothing really more from there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, the Italian stallion, Ben DiNucci, I mean, can he really get it done? The guy has had 2 career throws in the NFL last week against Washington. A great college player. I mean, I can't lie, but I think if you were to bet on this game, just go straight money line on the Eagles. Just be safe. I don't know what the odds are on that, but I'm sure they're like
it's -430. So if you bet $10, you get like
$4.
Like $4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still, I just go straight money line on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's
Cool.
it. We went through every single game.
Wow. Look at us.
Can't wait to see how we miss completely wrong on all these.
Oh, we're wrong on every single one.
Oh,
Guaranteed.
completely agree. The overs will be the unders will be the overs. The people will cover when they're not supposed to.
Pause.
What?
We didn't put a disclaimer out there saying, "Hey, yo,
Oh, yeah.
it's your choice to bet. We're not trying to influence you at anything. If you have a problem, go to the bettor's number, call them. Don't be an idiot. Don't waste your money. If you had to pay your mortgage, pay that first before you bet.
You gotta pay your mortgage.
Don't do this if you really don't have.
I'll put a disclaimer in the description.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Clark, let's hit the
yeah.
outro.
Thanks guys again for listening to this special episode of the Department Podcast. We're probably going to continue this going every week. I liked it. I think it was a lot of fun. I think we all had a lot of fun doing this. So
and hopefully once we understand spreads more, we'll get better at it because
yeah. I don't usually bet on the spread, so it was new to me and new to a couple of you guys too. So we're learning as we go along. We're not the professionals, but we're learning. We have a lot of things planned coming up this week. We have a wrestling recap probably coming up, uploading on Sunday. Maybe a hot stove MLB episode, NFL recap, a bunch of stuff coming up.
Mid-season awards. We got
a bunch of fun stuff coming up. So stay tuned to all that stuff. So subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Leave a comment, give us a review, tell us your favorite part of the show. We love interacting with you guys. Make sure you follow us on our social medias at Department_pod on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Facebook. Stay tuned to all that fun stuff I said, and we'll see you in the next episode.